All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Giving double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to all the brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the few sisters that watch. It's coming back with another lesson. Just, ran across this article because it really kind of, it's close to home. It says Microsoft builds world's first AI superfactory with new Atlanta hub. So, this devil is moving forward with his plan, and we know this is going to eventually lead to the RFID microchip, the chipping of all humanity, really, to put the people of the world in subjection. That's what's coming. So they're building these data centers, ramping up the space, the cloud space to be able to put everybody on, man. Basically that's what's going on. Because these are just buildings or structures, to hold data. I actually went inside of one, and they're not even manned. They're just a building with a bunch of servers and cooling fans and the cooling systems constantly running. You don't even need people to man them, but they draw, so much energy, man. You need water, electricity, all this stuff, man, to run these buildings. So, with that being said, this devil is destroying the earth, man. On top of, putting people in total subjection, or trying to. But it says Microsoft has introduced a new class of AI infrastructure with the launch of its Fairwater 2 data center in Atlanta. It says now operational. The facility is directly connected to the earlier Fairwater site in Wisconsin, forming the foundation of what the company describes as its first AI super factory. Rather than functioning as isolated facilities, these sites are designed to work together as a single computing environment. And after a while, all these data centers will be connected. So no matter where you go in the world, you're going to be identifiable, man. Just like now, really. With a real ID, I just saw something on the news saying, if you don't have a real ID and you go to the airport, you're going to be charged like $45, so they're pushing everybody to go digital, which is eventually going to lead to the RFID microchip. So let's get a scripture. We'll just go to Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. Because basically this is what's going on. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Because everybody's going to be suffering at the hands of this devil, man. The people upon the earth, as well as the creatures in the water, man. Everybody is going to be subject. Because, these data centers demand so much water. It's going to take a toll on the ecosystem, man. These you have to have cooling. The amount of cooling that these data centers require is just astronomical, man. It's hard to believe, so they're usually connected to like lakes, not even ponds, but lakes, to supply water. That's just the demand. So it says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So that's what's taking place. And Salakia, I'm back. Had to stop and had to do something. But anyway, yeah, that's what's going on, man. This devil is putting his plan together. So let's get back into this article. Get back into the article. Salakia. Let's see. So like it says, all right, I think I was right here. It says dedicating fiber optic network allows data to move between locations with minimal delay, supporting large scale ID training jobs that span multiple states. The two data centers follow a shared design built to support high thorough throughput AI computing. And it goes, let's see what it says, why it matters. It says AI development is pushing infrastructure to handle larger models and heavier workloads. Data centers now require faster training speeds, increased throughput, throughput, and more efficient energy use. Microsoft's Fairwater network meets these needs by connecting facilities through a system built specifically for AI computing across multiple locations. And let's see, I got another. Let's see, I just put in digital ID and data centers, because eventually these two will be connected worldwide. You won't be able to go anywhere without, this man knowing who you are, where you are, what you're buying. They already know that now, but once you get that tight knit, you know, security, which will eventually lead to the MOTB, and once you get that, it's over with, man. They gonna know everything about you, man. Your heart, your functioning, physical functions. When you getting busy, man, with your warming, they gonna know. When you eating, they gonna know everything, man. So it says digital IDs are electronic representations of identity information used to verify persons or machines' identity, while data centers serve as a critical physical infrastructure for storing, processing, and managing the massive amount of personal data associated with these digital systems. Says the relationship involves a significant dependency on data center security, scalability, and architecture. So we'll get in, let's see, digital IDs explained. It says a digital ID is a secure and convenient way to prove one's identity in the digital realm, often replacing physical documents like driver's license or passports or for online or offline transactions. They leverage technologies like cryptography and biometrics to authenticate users for various services, including banking, healthcare, government benefits, and travel. And eventually, you're going to need that MOTB to do any of this, any of it. Convenience and access, that's what they're going to push. But how does the data center play a role in the digital ID, which eventually will lead to the MOTB? It says data centers are essential to the functioning of most digital identity systems, especially centralized cloud-based models. They provide the necessary computational power, storage, and network infrastructure. Something else. Okay. Interconnection concerns. Says the link between digital ID and data center create a symbolic yet complex relationship. The push for digital ID often relies on corporate technology and massive database systems managed within these centers. So, you can't have one without the other. They're just setting up these massive data centers to eventually link everybody, to to this grid or digital cloud, so to speak, which we all now are on the cloud. But Salakia, back again. But right here I looked up digital ID data centers biometrics. And it says digital IDs use biometrics like fingerprints, facial recognition, and iris scans to verify a person's identity, which are then secured in data centers to provide access control and protect sensitive information. So these people are going to have access to your fingerprints, your facial recognition, your iris scans. Everything, man, is going to be contained in these data centers. It's just going to be a centralized place to keep your information, and once that microchip is embedded, it's just gonna work directly with these data centers, man. Every time you make a move, it's gonna pop up. It's gonna record it. So if they ever want to go back to the cloud and look up your information, where you been, what you bought, who you were with, it's all gonna be right there in the data center, man. So this is where it's headed. Salakia for keep stopping the video, but just having interruptions. But Lord willing, it was edifying. Didn't bring out that many scriptures, but just wanted to get this point on this data center, man, because that's where everything is headed, man. And this is a boom, and I can see it directly. But with that being said, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to constantly give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Shalom.